Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 6, where we read, "A scoffer seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge is easy to one who has understanding." The scoffer, the mocker. We've met him several times in Proverbs. He's actually mentioned 14 times in Proverbs, scoffing. Let me just refresh your memory of some of the verses. It says, "A wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke." Proverbs 15:12, "A scoffer does not like to be reproved. He will not go to the wise." 21:24, "Scoffer is the name of the arrogant, haughty man who acts with arrogant pride." 22:10, "Drive out a scoffer, and strife will go out, and quarreling and abuse will cease." 24:9, "The devising of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to mankind." Very, very strong words. What do we see? Well, the mocker is arrogant. He's proud. You cannot correct him, and they will despise and hate you if you try. They are loud and obnoxious and wreak havoc on society and communities. They are not respected by most people. Their destructive influence is acknowledged by most people. Proverbs says in chapter 22, verse 10, the only way we're told to save a community or a group from such people is to drive them out. One writer said that there is no person more universally despised and deserves it more than one who wears a perpetual sneer, who is himself incapable of deep loyalty and reverence, and who supposes that their mission in life is to promote the corrosion of the values by which individuals and society lives. End quote. Scorners or scoffers are proud. There's a way that seems right in their own eyes, and it is always their way. They are self-promoting, self-protecting, and everything they do is for themselves. Their desire for power, for knowledge, is all focused on themselves. They're like the person Martin Luther describing humanity, the sin of humanity. He says, humanity is caved in on itself. The mocker is caved in on himself. Everything is about them. We know the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Therefore, the scoffer seeks wisdom and finds none. Not a little, he finds none. Not a taste, he finds none. This man is not the double-minded James talks about in James chapter 1. "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach. It will be given to him. But he must ask in faith, without doubting. For the one who doubts is like the surf of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For that man ought to not expect that he will receive anything from the Lord, being a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways." I don't see the mocker as being a double-minded man. He has one mind, one opinion, one way, and it's his. His way is the right way. His opinion is the right one. He's not double-minded at all. He's so singularly minded it's to the point of being obnoxious, proud, and arrogant. So that's not the mocker's problem, that he's this double-minded person. He's probably the most single-minded person you'll ever meet, and the only one mind that matters is his. But the danger with the scoffer thinks he is wise. A fool who thinks he's wise in his own sight, in his own eyes, he's a danger to himself and everybody else. But he is a fool, and try as he might, seek as he might, he cannot find wisdom. As the proverbial song goes, looking for love in all the wrong places. He's looking for wisdom in all the wrong places. He has no aptitude for what he's seeking after. He's blinded by his arrogance, his selfishness, no fear of God in his heart. He calls evil good and good evil. He's twisted, crooked, cynical, blasphemous. That's the mocker. But by contrast, but knowledge is easy to the one who has understanding. All the words of my mouth, it says, are righteous. There is nothing twisted or crooked in them. That's wisdom speaking. They are all straight to him who understands, and right to those who find knowledge. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, Proverbs says, but the mouth of fools feed on folly. Also, Proverbs says, the discerning sets his face towards wisdom, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. To the wise, to the one who has understanding, who understands the fear of the Lord, he knows the deceitfulness of his own heart. He's been humbled and come to the cross for forgiveness. He understands the gospel. He understands that everything's not about me. The wise person understands this. They're not caved in on themselves. They don't see everything through fleshly wisdom, fleshly ambition. They understand who God is and therefore have come to understand who they are. And their knowledge and understanding is founded upon the Word of God. Their desire is for that Word. They are obedient to that Word. Their understanding is an easy matter to the righteous. The roadblocks to understanding, pride, sin, etc., have been confronted and confessed and forgiven. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is sweet to their soul. They have come to Christ and are learning of Him, the one whose yoke is easy and His burden is light. The roadblocks to the lack of wisdom has been taken out of their life. They're humble, they're teachable, they deal with their sin. Those are the people who can receive wisdom, who can understand the Word of God, who desire to obey it, and when they understand it, they desire to follow it. So a scoffer seeks wisdom and finds none, not a smidgen. But knowledge is easy to the one who has understanding. May this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.